Before you head out to vote tomorrow, there are some things you can and can't do at the polls.
Channel 5's Valerie Gonzalez is in our studio to explain.
Does your polling location have a dress code? Can you take your cell phone into the voting booth? We sat down with the Cameron County Elections Administrator who answered some of these most frequently asked questions.
You've probably noticed traffic cones surrounding polling sites. They delineate the 100-foot perimeter, that sacred ground protected by state law and those entrusted to enforce it.
The state of Texas empowers their presiding judges with the authorities of a district judge, meaning that they have the right to protect that 100-foot perimeter and within the polling place for the voters.
Remy Garza, Cameron County's election administrator, says election workers will be vigilant to protect against electioneering. For the voter, that can mean your fashion choice.
That can range from a t-shirt, that can range from a hat, that can range from slogans that are easily recognizable for one party or the other. It's up to the presiding judge to make that determination of where they feel they're violating the statutes, and then they'd contact a police officer because that is a criminal offense.
This is not limited to current candidates, stated Communication Director for the Secretary of State, Sam Taylor. You can't wear apparel advocating for or against a previous candidate. If you wear this, you'll be asked to conceal it or go home and change. Breaking this law would mean you face a Class C misdemeanor. Cell phones are considered a wireless communication device. State law prohibits you use them within the 100-foot perimeter. The main reason is because they're recording devices and recording at the polling site is against the law. But when this law was crafted, cell phones were not as ubiquitous as they are today. So, this is what can happen if you take a phone to the site.
I think it's much more difficult to ask people to actually leave the polling place and discourage a voter turnout, where if you actually ask them to please put it away or turn it off, it would solve the issue.
Breaking this law would not result in a criminal penalty. If you refuse to turn off the phone, Sam Taylor stated the presiding judge has the authority to ask you to leave. They want to allow voters the chance to vote in peace. Some preparation will be required. Have appropriate identification, make sure your voter registration is up to date, and look over the sample ballot before you head out.
The voter also has protected rights. Workers can legally take time to vote. It's a Class C misdemeanor if an employer prevents an employee from leaving work to vote or threatens to withhold wages or benefits if an employee leaves work to vote. This does not apply if the polls are open for 2 consecutive hours before your work schedule. The law also protects your right to vote if you have a warrant out for your arrest. This keeps law enforcement from arresting you outside a polling site. Felonies, treason, and breach of peace is excluded from that. And as long as you're in line by 7 p.m., you will still be able to vote. In the studio, Valerie Gonzalez, Channel 5 News at 6.